Absolutely. I bought it. I bought it as an ebook. I got on a plane, and it was a page turner. It's funny. It's a workbook, and yet I just read it cover to cover, and then I went back and looked at the exercises and really thought long and hard about each one of the items. Can I can I ask you what your what how did you get to the idea of making it into a workbook?
Okay, sure. So I have, as I mentioned, I come from a dysfunctional upbringing. My parents were divorced at a young age, so I didn't have a father in my life. Um, I was also affected by the mental illness that my mother had. So I really lacked support. And I decided while writing my memoir that this is really going to inspire a lot of people. It's going to bring them hope, seeing what I've gone through. And when I had people read the book in the beta reading process, they really asked me, how did you turn out so well? And when I put time to that thought, I realized that this is actually a process. So different than, traditional cognitive psychology. This is something that allows you to focus on the thing that is the problem in your life, whether it's a person, a situation, a scenario, or even just a conflict within yourself. So it's I took time and put down on paper how I process things throughout my life. And in each situation, the same process proved beneficial. Um, I've, I've you're doing a soul searching with yourself, right? Something that if you were to meet with a therapist, it might take you 8, 9 sessions to open up and come to the conclusions that you can really do if you focus and list those out and have that conversation with yourself. So that's how the book was born, out of this process that is proven. And again, I've had people give me the feedback that it's helped them in so many ways. Even counselors have told me that this is helping their clients so much so that they don't need counseling anymore, right? So it's
Yeah.
just so amazing the hope that it provides, allowing people to understand what they're going through, figure out their next steps, have clear presence of mind, go deep to understand, be honest with themselves so that they don't have to allow those traumas to make them operate on a negative wave, being insecure, unsure, and unable to make positive changes.
Right, right. It's one of the things that I've actually talked about this on my show, or actually on Stephen Cuoco's show on 98.5 satellite radio, Power 98.5. And one of the things that we kind of spent a lot of time talking about is that, is writing it down. When I look at my career and what I have been able to accomplish, because my upbringing was very similar. I had a very tough childhood. I had my parents split up. My mom worked nights. I went to school during the day, so I largely raised myself. And often when people like you say, "Wow, how did you survive? How did you come out of this looking, like a normal human being?" And the answer is um, being honest with myself about where I came from. And more importantly, writing it down. Where are you now? And where are you going to? So when I read your book, it was so inspirational to me because it was a way that I had kind of coped with my traumas, and to see or to read someone else have a very similar experience and a very similar coping method, it really made me feel a lot better about myself. So my question to you is, we see there's so many self-help and self-improvement books and videos and podcasts, and yet you have a really different style of coming at this problem. Where did that come from? And what kind of led you to make that next step and write it down and write your book?
Yeah, and it's really a combination of things, right? Kathryn, you mentioned Stephen Cuoco, and I've got to, share what happened. We knew each other for many years, and one day after reconnecting during a casual conversation, he launched the most truthful thing anyone ever said to me. He helped me to look at myself without excuses. And for the first time, I realized that we don't have to be perfect. And, in going through that simple thing of truth and honesty, I realized that we're all in need of support or help along the way, from simple things that might make us feel unsatisfied or unhappy. And, you know, combined with years of counseling and therapy that I had, along with, going through the different roles I've had in my life, I started a business for resume writing and career coaching. And in doing that, I guide people to the place in their decision that really makes them move forward. So combined with working with the thousands of clients I had in, changing their career path, arriving at delving in and deciding what makes them feel happy inside, that was another thing that helped with this whole process. It's realizing that no matter what guidance you get, no matter what 300-page book you might read, or, therapy and different exercises you can practice, it really takes that need to be honest and look at yourself and have that conversation with yourself. And that's the profound thing that makes this book different. It's really unique. It's not, psychology, it's not cognitive therapy, and it's not emotional intelligence. It's learning about how to become stronger emotionally and how to be resilient and bounce back, not rely on, the reactionary methods that you might take based on the way something or someone makes you feel, right? So it really builds confidence, and, it's just so amazing. I just can't wait for people to try it. The reviews on Amazon alone are all wonderful, and each person comes at it from a different perspective, right? So it's unique in that it is generic. One of the things that I'm working on is with another clinician. We're working on a series of books that are similar to this, but subtopics, things that will help people with the real issues they're facing. We have a book for kids, and then a second book for older children, as well as couples having issues with relationships, people themselves having issues with relationships, and, a slew of other different subtopics. So I'm really excited about what's to come.
Oh, that's fabulous. For those who are just joining us, we're talking to Alicia Pozsony. She is a mental health advocate and author of Emotional Strength Explained, a new way of responding to an emotional life. She is a mother and a wife, and I can attest, an exceptional author.